Crafting on the Plains Flossmas day 3. Well, this is my second Flossmas video, but this is day 3, so this is the 3rd of December, 3rd day of Advent. Thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, if you are just joining me for Flossmas, my name is Jacinta, and normally I film a floss tube sharing about all of my cross stitch as well as other crafty endeavors that I get up to. And this month I am doing Flossmas. So I'm posting a video every other day in December, and I am doing WIP-vent. And so I am pulling a random WIP every day according to my WIP-vent advent calendar. And if this is the first Flossmas video you've seen from me, you may want to go check out day 1. It's a pretty short video. I'm going to try to make all these Flossmas videos pretty short, but that one explains like the whole like WIP-vent system. It's got a little mini Christmas WIP parade. I forgot the word WIP for a second. Little mini Christmas WIP parade, and it's got everything kind of explaining what I'm going to be doing. So thank you so much again for joining me, and I'm going to show you guys what progress I got on my first pull. So my first pull was actually a new start because I'm doing 4 new starts for the month of December, and my first new start pull on the 1st of December was Peace on Earth by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery, and this is where I got to. I cannot believe the amount of progress I got in on this piece. I was not expecting. I thought maybe I'll get like a little couple flowers of the border, but honestly, I was not anticipating this. There we go. That's a little bit better of the colors. I am using a 36 count cappuccino by Fiber on a Whim, and I am doing almost all the called for except for this white right here. This was called for Weeks Bamboo, and when I was looking at bamboo, it did not look very variegated to me, and so I thought I'll just sub it for the DMC. The DMC that it called for I think is 3865 or whatever that like winter white is, and I was looking at my fabric and I thought, you know, I don't think that's going to show up really well, so I switched it for B5200, and I am really glad that I did that, because even with the B5200, the white is like not super easily seen, which is okay. So I'm really, really happy with this. I was able to kind of get this in Pattern Keeper. I was able to basically do where you like overlay a grid onto the pattern, and so I can mark off what I've stitched, but it doesn't like recognize the symbols. It doesn't like, it can't really calculate my percentage and things like that, and doesn't search, and that's fine. I'm happy with it, and I learned a new skill. I'd never done that on Pattern Keeper before, so I'm really proud of myself. But here it is, and I cannot believe that this is the progress that I have gotten on this piece. I will say also the other modification I made is this pink flower right here. These pink flowers, they're not charted symmetrically, and I'm not sure if that's on purpose or if that's a mistake, and it was bothering me, so I just mirrored the top half and the bottom, and that way they'd be symmetrical. And then I do have some perk threads. This is kind of my method, is I try to stitch as much in the hoop like shape as I can, and then when I need to move on, then I can move them rather than cutting my thread or trying to move my hoop halfway. So really happy with this, and this one is sadly going to be put away. I did not anticipate how much I was going to love my new starts and how much I would not want to put them down, because I do not want to put this one down, even though I am excited to get into some whips and some other new starts. So there we are. There's my progress on Peace on Earth, and that is going to go away for don't know how long. My new starts are not being called twice. They're only being called once, but if I finish one of my whips, then I can choose whatever I want to work on for those 2 days, and this one is definitely a top contender. Okay, now it is time to pull my first whip of WIP-vent. So I'm going to open my number 2 advent, because it's a 12-day advent that I've made for myself, and see which one of my whips I'm going to be working on. It is Wee Santa, and that is specifically Wee Santa 2023. I actually have Wee Santa 2022 right back there. But here is We Santa 2023. This is a stitch I am doing. I started this during Christmas in July with my friend Sally of Flossy Sews and Grows. I'm getting ahead of myself today. I am trying to make sure this is not a long video. So here he is. This one is probably the WIP that I am closest to having actually finished. So I'm going to work on him for the next 2 days. I am going to, well, let me tell you what he stitched on. So he is stitched on a 32 count Grandma Slip by XJU Design. This is my last little piece of XJU Design linen, and I want some more so bad. But here he is. And I'm using a combination of the Culvor DMC, and then some other flosses that I just sort of thought looked similar to the actual original. And I do have the chart here. I can show it to you. So that's what he's going to look like. It's kind of blowing out a little bit. And here is where I am again. So I'm really excited. I would love to get him finished over the next couple days, because then the next time he gets called, I could work on a new start a little bit more, but we will see. I am going to take a picture of where I am with him, and that way I can show you guys on the Flossmas video a comparison of what I got done in 2 days. So here he is. I am excited to see what my progress is. Okay, so that is everything that I have got for the 3rd day of Flossmas, or I guess part 2, whatever we want to call this. I would love to know what you're stitching on. Several of you said that you're going to be stitching on some special Christmas projects or some special advents. So I would love to know what you are stitching on. And also let me know if you're going to the Jingle Ball that's coming up this weekend. I would love to know if you are going there. I'm a little bit undecided because I've got some other things going on that weekend, but let me know if you're going to Jingle Ball, if you're taking any classes at Jingle Ball, and if you are, what is your plans for Jingle Ball? Are you doing new starts? Are you going to do classes? Are you doing WIPs? I would love to know. I am so grateful for all of you for spending a little bit of time with me, and I hope that you have a great next few days of Advent.